What's going on, guys? I know we've been waiting a while for some Battlefield 2042 news to see what they are doing, especially for Season 1 that will be coming out quite late if you think about it, but we have finally got some information about them fixing maps. So let's have a little look, hopefully they've fixed all the maps, there's no more problems, and then we'll be all good. Add more cover, more ways to get in, make the maps more solid. Okay, so traversal. They're telling us that they've outlined travel time on foot between base spawn and flags was too long. That is correct. Their proposed solution is to reduce overall travel time between these areas by moving them closer together. So basically they're just going to close in all of the objectives to make them not so far away, which is probably a good thing. They are squeezing everything up, making it smaller, so you don't have to be jumping around all the time and running for 3 hours. They've only done it on 2 maps. When did the game come out? Came out in November, didn't it? How many months is that to fix 2 maps? December, January, February, March. We're now in April, so it's been a minimum of 4 months. 4 months to fix 2 maps. You know what? I'm curious. Let's search up how many staff. 150 people.
You are it, Dad.
Yes.
Estimated work for DICE. These aren't official numbers, so I can't exactly confirm that. Oh, no, I'm wrong. 714 people. I was gonna say 150 was a bit small, and I have no idea where that name came out. 714 people as of 2020, so there'll definitely be more as they were ramping up their production for Battlefield 2042. 714 people had 2 maps, add a couple obstacles and squish in some objective. 714 people. Now I know that's not 714 developers, but you get my point. That's a big number. Now, cover and line of sight. They did admit there wasn't enough cover, which shock. I mean, you're running in open terrain. It's not a fun thing for an infantry player, especially when you go from Battlefield 5, which I felt was infantry focused with tanks and vehicles kind of taking a bit of a side step. You go from infantry focused game to 100% vehicle focused game. If you're infantry in this game, you die because it's just open. There's no cover, there's no lines. That's why the fortification system could have really made sense in this game, especially like Breakthrough. I really feel like the fortification system helps a lot in modes like Breakthrough when the defenders can actually set up stuff. That's why I was really big fan of the Battlefield 5 mode. I'm not sure if you got a chance to play it. It was a limited time mode called Fortress, and that was a solid mode because it just like the game automatically put everything, all the fortifications up, so you as an attacker would just be charging into a fully fortified area, and that's why you got Fortress mode. But it was just really good because a lot of the time the fortification system wasn't really fully utilized to that extent. It was awesome to see a mode like that. But going back to it, the fortification system would really help in a lot of these instances where it's open terrain. You can build a trench or something just to make it so you don't get sniped every 2 seconds, which is really nice. So they go on saying on Kaleidoscope we're going to change some of the elevation certain areas, probably best because it was a really flat map, and they're also going to add some cargo containers as well. That's 714 people. I mean, yeah, it's too much work for them. Oh, they're adding some other changes. So we have got a few more. Wow. This is really innovative, guys. Cargo containers. Wow. Congratulations. That must have taken, 50 hours. What have they got here? Oh, intriguing. Very, very cool. They've added. Oh my god. You will not believe that. They have added some cargo containers. Wow. Oh my god, they just can't stop with this creativity. That's 714 people. Immersion now. They're talking about immersion. What? In a game that has specialists that say, don't be sad, this just happens sometimes. They're talking about immersion. Often through discussion of how the maps feel too clean and pristine, you've expressed to us that you want it to feel like each flag and objective needs to have more strategic value and something that is worth fighting for. Well, no shit, that's the point of the game. So if you're gonna have a map, make it immersive. in whatever value you can. Obviously, you can't make a 2142 immersive because it's like flying jets, not flying jets, flying ships everywhere. So try and get the world, try and get into the world, what you'd hope for them to do. So basically, they've just told us, as an example, taken from the improvements we're bringing to Kaleidoscope, we're adding the gazebo on B1 into a military installment. I was gonna say installation to be smart. We'll replace grass with mud. Ooh, that is just way too intense. I hope they calm down. That 714 people really must be ranking overtime to get this through and cover the area in barbed wire. They go on to talk about how it's going to, you know, immerse into their world and to bring improvements to the narrative. There is no narrative in their battles. If they wanted to have narrative in their battles, there would be some sort of front lines or proper fortifications around. You'd have a street blocked up with sandbags, or you'd have two buildings, one building that is fortified up, and another building that's been destroyed, or there's a bridge that's damaged, stuff like that. That brings a narrative into the game. Like there's an actual front line that you have to push onto, not open. Through the mud, there's a military installment. Well, there's no cover, there's no front lines, they could really add it to Kaleidoscope too. There's a lot of grass area. If we look at the picture that I'll put up on the screen now, they have so much grass around. Why not make trenches? Are you telling me that in 2042 they're not going to build some trenches? I mean, it's a perfect area for a trench. There's a river that overlooks it. Think there would be some sort of trench. You'd even think, for hell, on the bridges there's some sort of cover. They have, you know, they can have tank traps. Just something. But no, it's just a city that in 1 second has been invaded. That doesn't happen. Okay? I don't know what happens in this 2042 world, but you're not gonna have a war zone that has zero cover and gets invaded in 1 second and the defenders have not responded. They're not just going to charge forward and run forward every single 2 seconds, you know? If they're trying to make this world immersive, you put cover. Especially these rivers. Come on, man. Come on. It's so easy. I mean, DICE, just hire me. I'll fix this shit for you. I'll tell you what you want, because it is getting so ridiculous how out of touch they are. It's so simple. They did in Battlefield 5. They put some cover, some trenches, some fortification systems. It's taken 4 months and we've gotten 2 maps that are not out yet. They're just showing us work in progress. It's not even out yet, so it'll be probably Season 1 they'll launch. It's 6 months after the game launches, we get this. And now they're talking about how they will be reducing the number of attack vehicles and helicopters that can be active anytime in 128 player modes from 3 to 2. So you only encounter 2 tanks and 2 attack helicopters available at any time. But then that just also brings the next issue. This is a vehicle-dominated game, and now it's just less vehicles because it's such massive maps. Like, how do you get places? So it's just like, it's a vehicle-dominated game, but it's also not, because you can only have 2 vehicles now. Now they're talking about paths, you know, how do you get to an objective? Before they had these, you know, like a little road and building system, and now it's been deleted. They are going to be making renewal smaller to make it easier to get into objectives, which is great. I love how the advertisement in the game mode was, this is going to be biggest maps, biggest game, super fun, every day, then nothing. And that's it. Those are the updates during Season 1. So, quickly go over it. They're smaller, making the map smaller. They are adding some intensity, so dropping the vehicles. Immersion, quote unquote, so mud and barbed wire. And cover and line sight, they're going to add a little bit more cover, like cargo containers, and that's it. And also squishing in the object. That's what you waited 4 months for. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.